Konami in the OCG has just announced a new batch of Overframe cards that will be in the upcoming OCG set, Limit Over Collection, the Heroes, as well as a bunch more reprints that will be in the Rivals booster set as well. Honestly, I really don't know what to expect with these new cards, nor do I even know what will be reprinted in the Rivals set. But I can say that both the Heroes, that both the Rivals and Heroes Limit Over Collection sets are already going to be two of the most hyped sets in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. I would say even more hyped than this right here. Toon Chaos, first edition, never opened it, had it since the week of its release. Looking to open this up when I reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe if you want to see this box get opened. I mean, come on. First set that introduced collector rares. I think right now the most expensive card I think is collector rare Stardust. I think, I'm not so sure. I'm gonna have to check TCG. I think that's the case. I could be wrong, but I think collector rare Stardust or collector rare Frame Omega are the two that are worth quite a bit. Price guide, here we are. Toon Chaos. Let's see. Right now, the top 5 most expensive cards in the set are all collector rares, and in that order are Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy the End sitting at $35, Toon Blackluster Soldier sitting at $64, Cyphering Lord Gamma sitting at also at $64, BLS Envoy of the Beginning sitting at $73, and Stardust Dragon Collector Rare sitting at $75. So we do have a chance to pull any of those. But then again, for all we know, I could end up pulling a collector rare Pot of Desires, which I mean, Desires collector rare is like not bad, but I think collector rare Stardust will probably be better, and it could also be worth greeting depending on its condition. But I'm not gonna waste any time with these new cards. Let's get straight into it, and we are kicking these off with Multiplying Kuriboh. So, yeah, it's basically Kuriboh as it was always meant to be. Literally. And obviously you could tell. Multiply. Literally, Multiply is in the card, which is insane. But it is a 1-star Dark Fiend with 300 attack, 200 defense, pretty much all the stats of the original Kuriboh. The first effect is a once per turn that reads, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, or your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect reads, once per turn, if an opponent's monster attacks during damage cal, or when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field as a quick effect, you can add to your hand or special summon a Dark Magician or a monster with 300 attack, 200 defense from your deck or grave. Then you can change that opponent's monster's attack to 0. Okay, so obviously this can work with Dark Magician decks. in any capacity, no matter what. What's also cool about this, and I actually want to give a shout out to Dark Arm Duelist. He actually did a Karibo deck profile a long time ago. He did a Karibo deck profile on his YouTube channel just a couple weeks ago. Did a bit of an update on it recently. And it's funny because Karibo is more, the Karibo deck itself is more of a, I wouldn't say that it's a meta contender. I would probably put the Karibo deck as more of a rogue deck that can hold its own. It can hold its own going into game 1, but once you go into games 2 and 3, if at all, your odds are you're probably just gonna end up scoop, because there really isn't a whole lot you can do going first. But going second, you can do a lot with the Karibo deck going second. So this card can be used not only in Dark Magician decks, but also in Karibo decks as well. Which again, if you summon out Dark Magician on their turn, you can special summon Dark Magician from your from your hand, and then go into the second part of this card's effect, where you can change the attacking monster's attack to 0, and then go Dark Magical Circle to banish one of their cards. Like I'll say, say for example, you're playing a Karibo Dark Magician deck against, I'll say Yummy Mitsurugi as a random example. If your opponent has the field spell on board, and you change one of their monsters' attack to 0, like let's say, I'll say the Link 2. Is it the Link 2 or the Link 1? I think it's the Link 1. I think it's the Link 1 that makes the deck busted. You change that monster's attack to 0, and then go Dark Magical Circle, banish the field spell. Now, as long as your opponent doesn't have any way to recycle the field spell, you're pretty much just off to the races from there. So honestly, it's not too bad, but I feel like the card's a bit too conditional. I don't know why. I don't know why. But next up, we've got Winged Karibo Sabatiel, level 10. Yeah, so Winged Karibo level 10 is getting a major upgrade. Let's see how big of an upgrade it's getting. 10-star Light Fairy, 300 attack, 200 defense. Both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, you can reveal this card in your hand and pay half your life points. Add one polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to your hand, and if you do shuffle this card into the deck, and you cannot special summon from the extract for the rest of the turn except for heroes. Second effect reads, during your opponent's turn, if you have 1,000 life points or less as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the highest attack among the monsters they control. Okay, so here's the funny thing, right? Let's say your opponent has a 5-headed dragon on board, and your life points are at least 1,000. Let's say that. If you use up this card's second effect and you side draw this card out, you get to inflict 5,000 damage to your opponent, which could potentially either threaten lethal, or it can be exact lethal. It all depends on. Excuse me. It all depends on their board looks like, because they could potentially have a way to stop it, which could be Dominus Impulse. I think what is Dominus Purge? If I remember correctly, give me 1 second. Because I know that I have Purge in one of my decks. I don't know which one it is. Is it this deck? No, this is my DD deck. So I think it's in my Blue Eyes deck. Let me see. Here we are, Blue Eyes. Let's see. Here we are, Dominus Purge. I actually recently pulled this from the 2025 tins, right before I left for the tournament in Rancho Cucamonga. So shout outs to Collectible Exchange for the hospitality. Literally, Purge can stop Sabatiel level 10 with ease. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated, it includes an effect that adds a card from the deck to the hand. Negate the effect. And if you have so I thought that you can use Purge, but I don't think you can. I think you can. I think it's Impulse. It's either Impulse or something else that can stop that card from being from using its effect. So so if this card gets stopped, you're basically screwed. But the first effect, it can easily get run over by Ash. It's no big deal. It's no big deal because obviously if this card gets hit with Ash, it stays in your hand until the next turn cycle, and you get to use it again, as long as they don't have another Ash in hand, which is kind of crazy. But being able to use this card in heroes, and to be able to not only deal them damage equal to their big guy's attack, but it can also again threaten. It can also push for lethal, depending on what your board looks like and what your hand looks like as well, which is cracked. Speaking of cards being cracked, so this next one is going to be cracked. Star Junk Synchron. You heard me right. Star Junk Synchron. Which is a 3-star Dark Warrior tuner with 1300 attack, 500 defense, and it says for a synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any Synchron tuner. You can only use, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if this card is in your hand, you can target one level 2 or lower monster in your grave. Special summon this card if you do special summon that monster, but its effects are negated, and you cannot special summon from the extract for the rest of the turn except synchros. Second effect reads you can banish the card from your grave. Junk Warrior you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. So this is basically Junk Synchron on steroids, and it's much like the original Junk Synchron, this is also Junk Speeder on steroids, because you can go this, where is it this? No, where is it? Yeah, here we are. No, that's for hats. Here we go. So if you have that card in your hand and you want to summon, I'll say this guy, Junk Speeder, then you can go Rhoda, or sorry, if you have Rhoda in hand and Fool's Burial, that right there is an automatic 2-card combo right there. So you would go Rhoda, You would go Rhoda, you add Star Junk to your hand, then go Foolish. Then go Foolish to send, I'll say, what's a good card to send to grave? You can send this guy to your grave, Full Speed Warrior to your grave. Then you would go normal summon Star Junk Synchron, use the effect to bring this guy out. Or actually what you can do, actually I just realized I just realized you don't even have to commit to your normal summon. Hypothetically speaking, you could, but you're not going to, because you would go Rhoda, add Star Junk to your hand, Foolish send Full Speed Warrior to your grave, then you would go Star Junk Synchron effect, you special summon Star Junk and Full Speed to your board, and you can automatically go into Junk Speeder, which gives you access to it literally gives you access to your entire board, and your end board can be, it can either be insane, or it can be catastrophically sad. It all just depends on what your board, again, it all just depends on what your board looks like and what your opening hand looks like. So again, this card right here is an automatic one card card combo, and you're just off to the races from there, which is insane. And you even also get to protect your Junk Warrior from being destroyed by card effects just by banishing this card from your grave, which is insane. Next up, we have Gaga Magician, Gaga Magic. Try saying that 5 times fast. Let's see here. 4-star Dark Spellcaster, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. Excuse me. The effect is a once per turn that reads: if this card is in your hand, you can special summon it and one other Zubaba, Gagaga, Go-Go-Go, or Dododo monster from your hand or grave, except this card. And if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, exceed summon one Zubaba, Gagaga, Go-Go-Go, Dododo, Jin, Heroic Champion, Number, Zexal Weapon, or Zexal Servant monster, using only those 2 monsters. When you do, treat the level of one of the monsters the same as the other monsters. Oh my god. Okay, again, this is literally this is another one card combo for pretty much any deck that has Heroic Champions or Utopia. You can use this card in both decks, and it's funny because on Master Duel did this event where I think one of the loner decks that I was using was the Heroic Champion deck, and that got me pretty far in the event until like I had like maybe 2 or 3 more rewards to try and obtain. I failed. I think I failed. I don't remember, but yeah, this card is busted. Again, Cyber Dragon. This literally is a double Cyber Dragon, and it's a 1-card Exceed summon. Enough said. Just enough said. Enough said. Next up, we have We've got Horoscope Sorcerer, the Stargazer Magician, and in a way, it kind of looks like in a way, the artwork, it kind of looks like Astrograph Sorcerer. If you really look at it, it kind of looks like Astrograph in a way. It's kind of cool. It's actually kind of cool. 5-star Dark Spellcaster Pendulum, 1200 attack, 2400 defense, The pen skill is 1. The pen effect is a once per turn, and all 3 of its monster effects are also once per turn. The pen effect reads as follows. When an opponent activates a spell card or effect resolves, if you control a Magician Pendulum monster or Odd Eyes monster, you can negate that effect and then destroy this card. It's basically Solemn Judgment. Enough said. It's Solemn Judgment on a 1 pen scale body, and that's all there is to it. It's kind of cool. The first monster effect reads as follows. You can discard 1 other Magician Pendulum monster, perform Power monster, or Odd Eyes monster. Special summon this card from your hand. Excuse me. The second effect reads, if this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Pendulum monster with 2500 attack from your deck to your hand. Excuse me. Third effect reads, you can target 1 Pendulum monster card you control, destroy it, then you can add 1 face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. I mean, this can literally do everything. This can do everything. It can negate. It can negate spell effects. So sort of like a mini spell canceller in a way. It's a cyber dragon at the cost of discarding discarding a monster. You can it's Rhoda for Odd Eyes, and it also lets you pop one of your pendulum cards, and you get to Rhoda out a pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, which is kind of nuts. Although to be fair, full power Pepe nowadays is not as good as it was when it was in its prime. Like when the deck was in its prime, it was able to do everything. Nowadays, you really don't see it get played all that much, especially with the fact that you have to use Link monsters to open up the zones for your pendulum monsters, especially if they're in the extra deck. I mean, it's like in decks like DD, that's one thing. That's one thing because of the fact that you have this guy. Let me pull these two guys out. Especially with the fact that you have these two guys right here. Abyss King Gilgamesh and Sky King Zeus Ragnarok, which this guy right here, Abyss King Gilgamesh, it can basically set up your pen scales, and you have to take 1,000 damage for it. And then Sky King Zeus Ragnarok can let you pen summon twice just by popping one of your Dark Contract cards or anything else for that matter, which is kind of busted. But again, in decks like DD, that's one thing, but in a deck like Full Power Pepe, especially in 2026, not the best. My opinion, not the best. But that brings us to the final new card of the video before we get into the reprint, and it is known as Cyber's Code Magician. Which is a 7-star Dark Cyber's Ritual, 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense, and it says that you can ritual summon this card with Signet Ritual. Both of its effects are once per turn, and the first effect reads, if a Link monster you control would be used as Link material for a Cyber's monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. Second effect reads, if this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, except Cyber's monsters. Also send a Cyber's monster from your deck to the grave, or if this card was ritual summoned, you can special summon that monster instead. So it basically gives you access to go into cards like potentially Access Code Talker. You can go into pretty much any Firewall Dragon based Link monster just by using this card in your hand as one of the materials. it's kind of cracked, and there aren't a whole lot of cards in the format that can use that effect. So it's kind of rare, um, but it basically acts as sort of like a monster reward, if you will, which is pretty cool. Not much to say about these cards. I think if there were 3 cards I would see becoming like extremely busted in 2026, 100% it would be Wing Karibo level 10, Star Junks Synchron, and Gaga Magician, Gaga Magic. Reason being is because with the new support that we got in the legendary 5Ds decks, and with all the new support that we're getting in Blazing Dominion, Stardust can potentially creep its way into the current meta, and it can become arguably one of the strongest decks in the format, which would put Yummy, Raziel, and Draco Tail to shame, because the Stardust deck can just spam the board with a bunch of tuners, bunch of synchros, and your end boards can be catastrophically nasty. It all just depends on what your opening hand looks like. Now we move into the reprints that will be in the Rivals Limit Over Collection set, and the reprints will be as follows: Chaos Allure Queen, Infernity Archfiend, Eclipse Wyvern, Pre-Might Dragon Ether Burial, Mudora the Sword Oracle, Side Blocker, Keldo the Sacred Protector, Ghost Fairy Elphobia, Infernity Necromancer, Samsara Dragon, Cyber Eternity Dragon, Crystron Quarion Gandrax. Try saying that 3 times fast. Divine Golden Shadow Dragon Dragluxion, number 65 Gym Buster, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, Pre-Might Roar, Pre-Might Drill Beam, Pre-Might Lordy Load, Different Dimension Ground, and Song of the Dominators. So those are all the reprints that will be in the Rival set. Honestly, I'm actually kind of excited for both these sets to come out, because it's as I said, right? Like, we could be looking at a format where decks like Dark Magician, Stardust, and whatnot, we could be seeing those decks become meta. But with all the new support that we're getting in the Rival set, there are a lot of other possibilities, but we will just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more card discussions in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.